What happens when a hardworking single dad is humiliated, fired without warning, and treated like he means nothing? The people who mocked him thought they had won, but they had no idea who he really was. What started as the worst day of Michael Carter's life would soon become a lesson that nobody in that office would ever forget. Stay with us until the end to see how one phone call changed everything and turned the tables on those who underestimated him. If you enjoy inspiring stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. Now let's get started. Michael Carter's alarm rang at 5 a.m. Just as it did every weekday. He quietly got out of bed, careful not to wake his 8-year-old daughter Lily. As a single father, his mornings were always busy. But he never complained. He prepared breakfast, packed Lily's lunch, and reviewed her homework while sipping a cup of coffee. Despite the pressure of raising a child alone, Michael always made sure his daughter felt loved and supported. After helping Lily get ready for school, he drove her across town. She smiled and waved goodbye before running through the school gates. Watching her disappear into the crowd always gave him the motivation to keep pushing forward. The drive to work was longer than usual because of heavy traffic. Michael used the time to think about upcoming projects and deadlines. He had worked at the company for nearly 10 years and had earned a reputation as one of the most reliable employees in the office. He rarely took days off, often stayed late to help colleagues, and consistently delivered excellent results. Although he was respected by some coworkers, others seemed jealous of his work ethic and calm confidence. Michael ignored office politics and focused on doing his job well. When he arrived at the downtown office building, he greeted the receptionist and headed to his desk. The morning passed normally as he answered emails, reviewed reports, and attended meetings. Around noon, however, something felt different. Several coworkers glanced at him before quickly looking away. Conversation stopped when he entered certain areas of the office. Michael sensed tension but couldn't understand why. Then an email appeared on his screen, requesting his immediate presence in a conference room on the executive floor, assuming it was another routine meeting. Michael grabbed a notebook and walked toward the elevator. As the doors closed behind him, he had no idea that within the next hour, his entire life was about to change. The future he had carefully built for himself and his daughter was suddenly about to be tested in a way he never expected. Michael stepped out of the elevator and walked down the quiet hallway toward the executive conference room. The atmosphere felt unusually cold. When he reached the door, he noticed his manager, Richard Collins, already seated inside, along with a representative from Human Resources. Neither of them smiled as he entered. Michael took a seat across from them, placing his notebook on the table. For a moment, no one spoke. Richard cleared his throat and slid a folder across the table. "Michael, we've decided to terminate your employment effective immediately," Richard said in a flat voice. Michael stared at him, certain he had misunderstood. "Terminate my employment for what reason?" "The company is restructuring," the HR representative replied. "Your position has been eliminated." The explanation made little sense. Michael had recently completed several successful projects and had received excellent performance reviews. Just 2 weeks earlier, Richard had praised his work in front of senior staff. Michael calmly asked for more details, but every question was met with vague responses. It became clear that the decision had already been made, and no discussion would change it. For a few seconds, silence filled the room. Michael thought about the mortgage payments waiting at home, the school expenses for Lily, and the responsibilities that rested entirely on his shoulders. Yet he refused to show panic. He had faced difficult situations before and learned that losing control never solved anything. Richard seemed almost pleased by Michael's silence. "Security will escort you out after you collect your personal belongings," he added. Michael slowly nodded, stood up, and picked up the folder. "Understood," he said calmly. As he walked out of the conference room, he noticed several employees watching from nearby desks. News of his firing had already spread through the office. Some looked surprised while others exchanged amused glances. Michael returned to his workstation and began packing his belongings into a small box. Although the situation appeared humiliating, a quiet determination was growing inside him. Something about the entire meeting felt wrong, and he intended to find out exactly why.